Hey everybody, it's Shab, Nobody Else's Auto, 7 o'clock Sunday evening, time for some Sunday night live chat. Looks like we are connecting on Facebook as well. As always, we are live on two formats, both Facebook and YouTube, as you see me glancing back and forth between monitors, checking comments. That's what I'm doing. We got a great crowd on here ready to go tonight on YouTube. Charles is here. Mike's back. Matt's here with us. Brian Dispatch is on. Bill Wagum and Iceman is back. Iceman called while me and Tracker Mike were on the way to Meekum. Talked to him for a few minutes. Glad he's on hanging out with us. Kenny's here with us. Kenny, if you didn't get your package yet, I forgot to throw your other plate in there, so I will get it in your next one. So I apologize about that. My screw up. Kevin L is here. Pete's on with us. Nick's back with us. Glad all you guys are coming back and hanging out with us. Still kind of shocked that you do, but you do, so that's great. I'm excited about it, and we're all excited that you're here. We've got a great group of nobodies on here, and you guys are what make this thing what it is. Dad's on with us. Terry's here. Dennis is on. Lee's back. A lot of familiar faces and some new ones. Great to have all of you guys here. The bigger this base is, the more knowledge we have on here, the more we can share with each other, and that's what makes this thing awesome. So Tony made it tonight. So anyway, yep, episode number 190. That's crazy to even think about. Alan's on with us. Crazy to think about. 190 times we've done this. So, and you guys are still coming back. That's what shocks me. So, but anyway, as always, a little bit of housekeeping before we get too deep into things. 73 Buick Man is back. If you're on the Nobody's Show Facebook page, as always, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page. You will need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto page or the Nobody's Show YouTube channel to comment and participate in the auctions, etc., etc. If you just want to watch on the Nobody Show Facebook page and hang out with us, you're perfectly fine over there, but I cannot see those comments. So Scott made it. Trolls, we do occasionally get a troll or two on here. I ignore them. They're trying to get my attention and screw up the chat. I ignore them. You guys do a great job of reporting them, running them off, and making sure that they know they are not welcome. I appreciate that. Super chats are always awesome. Please double check your autocorrect before you hit send. If your autocorrect changes your comment to something I can't understand, I will have to skip it and go on to the next one. So, and also throw a share out there. Let your friends know that we are on and we are ready to go tonight. Invite them to come over and hang out with us and join in with what we've got going on over here. So Scott's on with us on Facebook as well. Big Job made it tonight. Matt says hit the like button. Appreciate that. Numero uno is here. Johnny Z made it back. What are you doing, Gray Kitty? Hey, she's sitting over on the other chair. She can't get over here because this pile is so big right here. We've got so much stuff left over from last week, from the auction, from the big Christmas auction that we didn't get to. We got to sell some of this stuff tonight because I've just piled in my office all week. I got to get some of this stuff out of here. So we're going to have some great auctions tonight for sure. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get rolling. We'll get into some open chat. We've got the promo ready. We're going to talk about some new inventory. We're going to do badges and emblems. We're going to talk about who got into the raffle. We may squeeze an extra bonus drawing or two in there. Like I said, the auction pile is huge. We could do like 3 or 4 more auctions, normal lights auctions out of this pile here. So, and there's still some cool stuff in there that you may still want to get for Christmas, which we can still get out here first of the week. So I've got most everything on the way to everybody that had paid for it. I know some of you guys were sending checks and things like that I haven't gotten yet. But for the most part, the stuff that was paid with PayPal and stuff right away, that is all on the way, except for I forgot Kenny's extra plate. So Jeff's here from Independence, Kansas. Glad you're hanging out with us, Jeff. So lots of cool stuff going on. Randy made it back. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Obviously, we were at Meekum, Kansas City last week. Hopefully you guys caught the videos I posted this week from Meekum, me, Tractor Mike, my dad. There was a whole group of us. There were 6 or 8 of us. Alan, Bird, a lot of good friends that always go out and hang out with us at Meekum. So this week, been playing catch up, getting caught up from the big auction. So Tween the D made it tonight. That's kind of what my week consisted of at the beginning of the week. And then we talked about a little bit on Tuesday, I got into a whole deal of cars. I ended up buying 8 cars on Tuesday. We'll talk about that a little bit here when we get into new inventory. And then at the end of the week, trees. You guys can't wait to see the tree video. I don't have many trees in the yard, but I had one area. I've got a couple different areas that have trees, but I had one area that was really bad. Probably 50-foot tall cottonwoods. And like I said, just if they came down on a car, it would be bad. I mean, it would take out a whole row. Well, I've been working back in that area. Alex is on with us. Christmas rules apply. Add $1 to every bid for a raffle ticket. Chug every cat on the screen. Buick stuff is a chug. Addie saying hi is a chug. Well, speaking of which, number one, we'll at least give you a Hudson badge to get the night rolling. How about that? So I know a guy he's 75 years old, I think. He's a Vietnam vet, and he is a tree cutting machine. And I had him come look at them, and I said, you want to do these? And he said, I probably shouldn't. He said, my wife's going to be mad. I'm not supposed to be doing trees anymore. I said, well, if you don't want to do them, I understand. He goes, oh, no, I'm cutting them. I got to cut them. I got to cut them trees. So he wanted it, and he wanted to start that day. So he goes, I'm ready. I'll go get my stuff. I'll be back in a couple hours. So we actually started cutting Thursday afternoon, then finished them up Friday morning. But we got some cool timber videos for of some big trees coming down that really needed to get out of there. Because like I said, they could definitely have caused a lot of damage had they come down at the wrong place at the wrong time. So did that Thursday and Friday and got a bunch of stuff cleaned up at the yard, which was, there's, like I said, like I always tell you guys, there's so much maintenance out there to try to keep the facility up that I spend more time doing that than I do actually pulling parts, I think, sometimes. But it keeps the place cleaned up and keeps it easier to work in on a regular basis. So Jeff from Ottawa's here. Jim's back. Andy made it. Glad you guys are all here. Keep coming back, keep hanging out, and making this chat what it is. Auburn badge. So you want to stay tuned. I did shoot several different clips. I didn't get all the trees coming down, but I got some pretty good ones as they're crashing down from different angles. So it was kind of cool. I got 4 or 5 of the big chunks coming down. So I think you guys will enjoy that. Something else that's coming up that I need to get on and I need your guys' help with is we talked about it a little bit last week. Sometime here within the next few weeks, I'm going to try to get up to Minden to Pioneer Village to help with kick off their Adopt a Car program. At this point, we've raised enough money that the Nobodies will be adopting 3 cars. Gunnery Sergeant's here on Facebook. And plus one that Leo sent an extra $100 just so we can put his dad's name on one. So what we need is, if you guys have some time, go back and watch some of the Pioneer Village videos. Give me a handful of cars that we want to look at. Number 1 says Henry J, Allstate, and Cord. And that's what I want to hear from you guys. A couple of your personal favorites. And then we'll kind of narrow that down. Hopefully we have a whole list of them. We'll kind of narrow that down to, 6 or 8. And then we may do a live video from there. I don't know. I may just shoot video clips and post them up that night while I'm there. No, they're not selling their cars. It's an Adopt a Car program that Will and I discussed that they decided to roll out. Where for $100 a year, you get to put your name on a car. It's just a $100 donation to go for facility maintenance and upkeep and things like that. So that's what the Cadillac that Henry Ford built. I like that, Pete. I like that idea because that is a cool car. I did a full video on that. That's a great idea, Pete. I do like that one for sure. So I'm making a few notes on this. The yellow 71 Chevy pickup. Yeah, because that was the Pioneer Village pickup. So I don't catch all the comments that are posted on videos, but I will try to kind of keep an eye on them. Over the next couple weeks before I go, and try to keep some notes. So, I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to catch every comment, but as you're watching some of these videos, start commenting on them, and I will try to at least build some sort of a list to work with. 57 Chevy 210 with the wrong hubcaps. Yeah. Kenny's in with Pete on the Caddy. I definitely like that idea. I really do. Andy plans to make it up there soon. If you haven't been there before, Andy, it is well worth it for sure. So like I said, just keep that in mind. I'm going to try to keep an eye on comments. I would like to get up there within the next few weeks. So fire truck, that might be a possibility. So like I said, if you comment on the videos, I'm going to try to keep an eye on it. You can actually, Gunnery Sergeant, you can adopt them yourself. What we're doing right now is everybody's been chipping in a few dollars every week over the last couple months. And we're going to sponsor, as of right now, 3 cars from the Nobody's from Nobody's show. But you can do them yourself. You can contribute to what we're doing here. And like I said, whatever we get, we're just a tick under $300 right now. So that'll give us 3 cars. I'll make up the difference there if we don't get to 300, but I'm sure we probably will. And yeah, I mean, if we get another $100, we'll do 4. Whatever we get is going to go to them for their program for facility maintenance. Andy says his grandmother tells him stories of how awesome a place is. You would, Andy. We said I've got a full playlist on the channel, a whole Pioneer Village playlist. If you want to check some of that out, it is well worth it. Bill said an airplane. That might be a possibility, but I think everybody probably wants to do a vehicle, so we'll probably stick with that for now. I'm sure they do have 56 Fords and Mercs, I think. Zach's back, Whiskey Business, Nathan's Mopar Garage. So that's what they've got going on at Pioneer Village with their Adopt a Car program. And with the Nobody's from Nobody's show, what we're going to do as far as the money that we're raising, I'll go up and we'll pick the cars. Randy's going for the Allstate as well. So like I said, if you get some time, watch some of the Pioneer Village videos and throw something up in the comments that so we have, and I'll try to keep an eye on that as much as possible. So, yeah, I've seen that stuff for sale in Yates Center. I'm not sure what the whole deal is on that thing. So I've seen a bunch of ads pop up, but that's right, Bill. I guess an airplane is a vehicle, but so I'm going to keep an eye on comments. If you guys watch one of the Pioneer Village videos, try to build a list. Maybe shoot. If we get it narrowed down to 6 or 8 cars or whatever, however many we think we're going to do, I may try to do a handful of small clips on those, throw them up the night before, and then we can, vote on it that night and then make the decision the next day. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. We'll see what kind of feedback I get from you guys watching some of the Pioneer Village videos over, this next few days, and see what we come up with. Because I want your guys' input on what we decide to adopt at Pioneer Village from the Nobody's from Nobody's show. So it's a great place. I know some of you have been there. I know Kevin L. visited lately. I know Alex has been there. Andy said he's going. It's an amazing place. So like I said, I've got a full playlist on the channel. Everything I shoot from Pioneer Village goes into the Pioneer Village playlist on the channel, so you can check that stuff out there and see what they've got going on. So keep that in mind. I'll keep an eye on comments. We'll try to develop a list, and I want to get that done here sometime in the next few weeks. Get up and visit Will, see what they got going on, do some more cool videos, and adopt some vehicles from the Nobody's on Nobody's show. Anyway, what else has been going on? Like I said, I bought several cars this week. I picked a few of them up, including one that we touched on a little bit Tuesday night that you guys were all interested in and asked a bunch of questions about. So we'll talk about those cars a little bit. 8 of them on that load, but nothing there was half of them are just later model scrap. So I got a few things there. And then I had one other one show up today. Kevin went last year and going back this year. So, it just depends, Andy. I mean, it's kind of like Kansas and Oklahoma, they'll get a little bit of weather, but it just depends. Just have to watch the forecast. But for the most part, it's not bad. Joe's Classics is here. So for the most part, it's not too big a deal. Just watch the weather, make sure they're not going to get a huge snowstorm that weekend or something. But usually it's not too bad. So, but I had one show up this week that I've never had anything like it before. Actually, just a cold call. A guy called me and said, I'm moving this car. It was at some other family member's house. He goes, I'm hauling it back to my place, but he said, I'm going to sell it. And he just wanted, he goes, I thought you might be interested in it. So Craig from New Hampshire's on with us. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, the 53 Chevy Coupe. You like that one, Brian? I seen that we popped up there the other night. That video. That car's been there for several months. I just finally got the video done on it. But so anyway, this guy he sent me pictures of it, and he just pull you. He said, if you want it, he goes, I'll just head straight through your place with it. So we worked out a deal over the phone, and he showed up at the gate with it. Don't know a thing about it. I'm going to learn. It's completely out of my wheelhouse. It's something a little bit different. But it is a 1969 Triumph Spitfire Mark III, whatever that is. It's a little sports car thing. So I definitely not something I typically mess with. But I don't know. Like I said, it's pretty much a complete car. There's got to be something on it worth selling. So 69 Triumph Spitfire hit the ground this week. So like I said, for whatever that's worth. But the other stuff had an 88 S10 come in, one of the old square S10s. I think those are going to be getting popular coming up. That's a badge. But the car that I'm most excited about, with 154 miles on it, and come to find out, the 58 Impala is tucked away. Yep, the 58 Impala is, well, it's over in the next shop. And the other shop with scattered everywhere. I got to get that mess picked up too. But yeah, the 58 Impala is here and tucked away in the other building. But like I said, this is a pretty neat car. I've known this car for 30 years. And it literally has 154 actual miles on it. It was donated to a school, and that's how I've known the car for so long. And then the school sold it, and it ended up in private hands. And then I got a call on it this week. And then come to find out, I knew it was kind of an odd car, but I didn't realize it was quite as odd as it really is. It took some digging, but I did find production figures for this car, and it is an extremely rare car. Now, it doesn't necessarily make it desirable, but it is a pretty cool car and an extremely rare car with 154 miles. So what it is a 1990. So a lot of people say, well, 1990, that's not that old. Well, basically it's almost 2024. So next year, 1990 is 35 years old and an antique in Kansas. But it's a 1990 Chrysler LeBaron GTC Turbo Coupe. So like I said, I've known this car for years because I know the school that had it. So that's how I know the miles are right. And it's kind of a different car. Alex had a Spitfire when he was a kid, so so I started doing. Oh, no, I appreciate that, Joe. I've known that car for 30 years. I've tried. I actually thought I had it bought once before. So I was finally glad to get it after I thought I had it bought one other time, and then it backed up on me. So, no, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough, actually. We'll do a full video on it here soon. But no, it's not near as good as I was hoping. It when I found it this time, it was sitting under a tree, covered in tree sap. Most of the clear coat was gone off of it, so the tree sap. No, I didn't pay what he was asking. I ended up buying 8 cars that day. So I ended up buying a whole batch from him. Yeah, that's right, Brian. Sometimes they do fall into private hands, and that's what happened with this car. But after doing some research, yeah, it was nowhere. It wasn't anything like that. Trust me. Because like I said, the headliner's falling down in it, the paint shot. I wish it was a better car, but it's not. Unfortunately, it isn't. It's been sitting outside for a handful of years. Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be a crazy. There's got to be the lowest mileage one in the world. But the thing about it is, after doing some research, it was tough finding much information on that car. I've been able to come up with a little bit here and there, but not a lot. But what I did find, and I have found this in a couple of It was 240 kilometers, which equates, because it's a European version, which equates to 154 miles. But it actually was 248 kilometers, I think, but it's like 154 miles. So Alan said he got kicked off. But I don't know. Is everybody still okay? Anybody had any issues or anything? If Alan got bumped off? But I finally managed to find production numbers, and I found the same numbers in a couple of different places. Yeah, and I went to school there. I've known that car literally since it got there. Scott's here with us on Facebook too, so Scott left. They made, when I found the production numbers, they only made of this intercooled VNT, I think, turbo coupe. They made 123 of them. So they only made 123 cars, and this one's got 154 miles on it. So, like I said, unfortunately, it's not. I mean, the car will have to be painted. There's no doubt about it. Because, like I said, the clear coat's gone. It sat under a tree for the last 2 or 3 years, probably. So all that tree sap and stuff got on the clear coat, or on the base coat. Neil's here. So actually, Dennis, I've been out of this car for so long. As of right now, I'm planning on keeping it. I don't know what I'll do with it. I don't know if I'll ever do the car. I need to get it inside. I need to see if it'll start, for one thing. I put a battery in it and it cranks over. So, there's nothing catastrophically wrong with the engine, I don't think. David from Montreal, it's just been sitting. So I put a battery in it. It cranked over. So I'm going to get some fresh fuel for it and see kind of what happens. And then go from there. But I will get you guys a full video on it here soon. And but I think it's a super cool car. But that's because I've known the car for years. I didn't know it was that rare. Dennis is interested. Okay, Randy's here from California. I just think it's cool. Like I said, I went to school where this car was at. I've known this car forever. And always thought it was a unique car. I just wish it hadn't. That's never been registered. I just wish it, had not been left sitting outside the last handful of years, because it pretty much wrecked the clear coat and the finish on it. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I've got it now. Finally, after thinking I had it bought before, and then having the deal get pulled out from under me and some things like that. So, I got a picture on my phone I can show you. Yeah, I don't know, Joe. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet as to what you can or can't do with it. Like I said, this just all went down Tuesday. So I just got a picture of it on the trailer. I don't know if I took any pictures of it after I had it. Let me see here. There it is. Alex on with us. It's Alex's birthday tonight. Alec on Facebook's birthday. So, like I said, it's kind of different. No idea what I'm going to do with it or what to do with it at this point. All I knew, I've been chasing it I've always liked it. I've tried to buy it. I thought I had it bought before. And when I finally got the chance, I went ahead and jumped on it. Ads. Okay, we got ads coming up. It is a neat car. I think it's super cool. It's Tweedledee E's birthday also. So we got a birthday party tonight. What the heck? Let's have some badges for the birthday boys. Mike's over on Facebook. Nope, it's a coupe. It's not a convertible. It looks just about like them, but it is a coupe. So Dennis has had some. Okay. It's Alec on Facebook. It's his birthday. Alec on Facebook, not Alex Kalish. It's Alec on Facebook. So anyway, that was my excitement for the week, for whatever that's worth. So, but anyway, we'll kind of keep moving forward. We got a lot of stuff to do tonight. Yeah, like the TC. I want one of those too. Those little LeBaron TC convertibles. I want one of those too. In fact, there was one at Tulsa I almost bid on. There was one last weekend I almost bid on, but I didn't. It does not have Corinthian leather. No, it's a good point. Good question, Scott. But it does not have Corinthian leather. No, it is left-hand drive. It has the long, narrow plate mount for a European plate. Side marker light deletes. No airbag. So, yeah, it's a cool car. I dig it. I'm excited about it. So, I'll get a video done on it here soon, and we'll give you guys a better look at it. But I was pretty geeked about it. I thought it was pretty neat. So, anyway, also got a new 98 Intrepid too. There was a 98 Intrepid that came out of the same deal that this guy had. So I don't know how many miles it has on it. I haven't got a battery in it yet, but it there again, it's been sitting outside at the same place. Clear coat's falling off of it, but it was basically a new 98 Intrepid too. So anyway, we'll go ahead and keep moving we'll get to the promo model, some badges, some emblems, some story time. We'll see who's in the raffle. And then we're going to get into some auction stuff, and as well as we're going to do a magazine tonight too. So we'll keep on moving. We'll work our way into tonight's promo model. Tonight's promo model is a white box. Let's go ahead and bust this thing open and check it out. And what we have in here, the 1989 Chevrolet pickup. In red on red. Basic promo model, one-piece bottom, all molded together. Pizza and love. Bill Disc has the model and the real truck. Basic half-ton long bed. Does have the year on the back. Has the big Chevrolet badge across the tailgate. Obviously in great shape. Still in the original box. Well preserved. Well taken care of. One thing that I thought was kind of interesting, though, is if we look inside the interior, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not. It actually has a manual shifter in here. I don't know if you guys can see it there. You guys kind of see it. Actually has a floor shift for a manual transmission in it. Okay, Kevin says you can see it. So, but other than that, I mean, basic truck, had kind of a basic style wheel on it. Not a lot of detail, just everything cast into the plastic. It had the side moldings, it showed the door handles, all just cast into the plastic. Really the only add-on were the bumpers and the Chevrolet across the tailgate. Basic long bed, but a nice promo. Obviously amazing condition. And obviously these trucks are getting super popular. So I thought it was kind of a cool piece and was definitely excited about it. So there we have for the promo tonight, the 1989 Chevy half-ton long bed 2-wheel drive pickup. What are you doing? What are you doing, Chunky Butt? Hey, Chunky Butt, come here. What are you doing? No, you can't step on the keyboards. What are you doing, goofball? Well, that could have gone badly. Actually, that's a good catch, Scott. You are correct, Scott on Facebook. Bucket seats. It is a bucket seat interior, and it does have a console, if you guys can see through the glare on the windshield. Good catch, Scott. It is bucket seats. 73 Buick man's getting thirsty. How about that? And another interesting feature, tailgate opens. How about that? All around the bed of the pickup. So, yeah, nice piece. Good looking truck. Glad you guys dig it. Still has the bubble wrap for it. So we'll wrap this one back up. Put her back in the box. What are you doing, Chunky Butt? And then we'll move on to some badges and emblems. And a cat. What are you doing, cat? Hey. Hello. Is that standard on truck promos? The tailgate thing, Kenny, or I'm not sure what you're asking if it was standard. But let's move over to some badges and emblems, starting off with a pre-war, and then we will work our way into a post-war badge. Obviously, we'll have completely different cars tonight. The first one we're going to talk about is a pretty interesting one. This badge actually was used from 1919 through 1927. Nice looking badge. Bright colors. Bright blue on this one. On the Page badge. Like I said, this was used from 1919 to 1927. A little bit of history on the page from the American Auto Emblems website, where we get all kinds of cool information on these badges. The Page Detroit was a 25-horse, 3-cylinder, 2-passenger roadster designed by Andrew Bockley and promoted by Fred Page, who had previously been president of the Reliance Motor Car Company. Harry Jewett was interested to get into the automotive business, and after taking a test drive in the roadster, he decided to provide the cash to help set up the Page Detroit Motor Company in 1909 with Fred Page as president. Production of the Page Detroit began in late 1909, but the car was not very good. Harry Jewett removed Fred Page and installed himself as president, stopped the production line, and had the car re-engineered. The new car for 1911 was a 25-horsepower 4-cylinder offered as a small 2-passenger roadster similar to the Page Detroit, or as a longer wheelbase model in 3 body styles, and that's when the name was changed strictly to Page. By 1912, the Page was offered at a variety of body styles, including several open sports cars. The Page was well received, and production rose from 4,631 cars in 1914 to 12,456 cars in 1916. A 6-cylinder appeared in 1915, and only 6s were produced after 1916. So, yeah, this is a different one. This is a pretty cool one. By 1912, the Page was offered... No, the first Page commercial car was a 2-ton capacity model, which appeared in 1918, and upgraded to 2.5 ton in 1919 and 3.5 ton after that. The Page passenger cars became known for their styling, and the company used the slogan, "the most beautiful car in America." Page also took advantage of its sporting achievements. In 1921, Ralph Mulford drove a stripped-down Page Roadster to a 1-mile straightaway record of 102.83 miles an hour at Daytona Beach, and Page offered a sporty 3-passenger Roadster in 1922. A smaller companion car called the Jewett appeared in 1922 and was available through 26. Page survived the First World War depression, although sales did reduce in 21 and 22. But the introduction of the Jewett boosted sales again by 1923, and the company was 10th in the industry by 1925. Sales dropped again in 1926, and the company lost money. Harry Jewett sold the company to the Graham brothers in 1927, and that is what became the Graham Page Motors Corporation. So what's written under it? Just regular U.S. patent offer. Just regular U.S. patent. That's all. So yep, they ran 102 miles an hour back then. So it was a pretty big deal. It is a very neat, nice, deep blue in the Page against a white background. There's a little bit of chipping and damage over here on this other side, but overall, not too bad. Planet Wisconsin's here. This Page badge is Tony's here with us. Stuck at work salting roads, but well, at least you're hanging out with us. But it sounds like you're getting those roads clear for tomorrow morning is going to be a big deal. This Page badge is about 3 3/4 long, tip to tip, and about 1 3/4 inches tall. This was pressed on the back of the grill shell, had the button back here that would have pressed it on there to hold it onto there. Did that carry over to Graham Brothers trucks? Well, they were sold out to Graham Brothers and became the Graham Page Corporation. So then, yes, it was definitely related to the Graham trucks at some point. But that's the early pre-war badge we've got for tonight, the 1919 through 1927 Page. This is enameling in it, and it is a good-looking badge with nice colors. So, cool piece. Now, we're going to obviously jump up a few decades now, actually about 50 years, about 5 decades, to a badge off of a car that has become extremely popular over the last few years. Very unique styling, almost styling where to a certain extent for a while they were almost a love them or hate them type deal. I have always thought these cars were cool. Dad's got one. Dad's got one that he bought in 1977 when the car was 4 years old. Sold new at the dealership he worked at, traded back in 77. That's when he bought it, and he still has it. This is a C-pillar badge for a 1973 boat tail Buick Riviera. This was the R that would have gone on the C-pillar as you were looking at that slope heading back down through that big, huge back window and the boat tail styling as it came to a point at the rear of the car. So this is a smaller badge. It would have went on the C-pillar. It just has the R in the Riviera style font. It's only about 3 inches. It is a smaller badge. It is pop metal, chrome-plated pop metal. Chrome still looks nice on this one. It's not all pitted up. The mounting studs are still intact. But Kevin loves the boat tails. Yeah, it's they obviously there was a few of them that got built on TV, some things like that, and so they've gotten crazy popular over the last few years. The car Dad has is an all original, never been touched, 73 Riviera GS, burgundy with tan interior, great looking car that he bought in 77 when it was 4 years old and still has it. So thought that was kind of a cool piece. Those are such a unique car. They've really developed a huge following. Yes, they had the big curved back window. R for race, yeah. That Riviera hasn't been out in a while. It still runs and drives, but it's been a while since he had it out and drove it. So that's true. That's right. They did blow one up in the last Boy Scout. I don't think that was a 73. I think that was a 71. But they did blow one up in that movie. I do kind of remember that now that you mentioned that 73 Buick, man. But that's what we've got for tonight. The Page, the 1919 through 1927 Page, and the R from the 1973 Buick Riviera boat tail. Hey, Cat, can I have the pictures? Hey, you, I'm talking to you. When you get into story time next, as soon as I knock the cat off the pictures here. You mind here? I need to get right. You're literally sitting right where I need to be. Obviously, you don't mind because you're not moving. Okay. Story time ride. This car I ended up with, it's been close to 15 years now, about 14 years ago. The building I'm in right now, and I know some of you guys have been here picking your stuff up and are familiar with the shop where I work, the shops here in town that I have, and the one that I work in. When I bought this building, which I think was in 09, maybe, like at the end of 09, beginning of 10. No, it was before that. Maybe it was a year before that. Maybe it was like 08. Maybe it has been almost 15 years. I don't know. 08, 09, something like that. This entire building, in fact, right where I'm sitting, this building, I mean, it's bad now. It's a mess now with me working in here. It was worse when I bought it. Here in the office where I'm at now, you couldn't get in the door because this entire office was this tall with tires, and they went all the way to the door. The Dirty made it tonight. The everything out in the shop, and they were jam-packed in here. I mean, it was like a maze getting between these. The whole thing was full of cars. And that's how I bought the building. I had to buy the whole shooting match, lock, stock, and barrel, to get it. And then I had to clean it up because the entire building was full of Lincolns and LTDs, 70s Lincolns and a few LTDs. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. One of the Lincolns that was in here was sitting outside. This was after I moved them out. Mark IV and Mark Vs. This was one of the Mark IVs that was in this building. And at the time, these were pretty good cars, but there's still not a huge demand for them, and there wasn't much demand for them at all back then. I did end up selling all of them off. But as you can tell, this was a fairly decent old Mark IV. I mean, they'd all been sitting inside for years, and there was a handful of 4s and a handful of 5s. But there again, these weren't terrible cars. It's just, even today, the demand isn't great. And there was even less so 15 years ago when I bought all this stuff. So that's just what the dude liked, Pete. The guy was that was his thing. That was his, he liked Lincolns. That's what he wanted, Lincolns. And there was, like I said, there were some LTDs. Yes, they are giant automobiles. That's right, Alan. They road trip great. There's no doubt about it. So, Leland on Facebook with us. It, like I said, there was a lot of, and not only was it the cars, they were full of parts too. He had scrapped several of them. There was tons of parts in here, tons of sheet metal, just a ton of 70s era Lincoln stuff in this building. So there's one of them tonight for story time. This burgundy with silver or gray vinyl top Mark IV Lincoln. So anyway, that gets us through story time, the promo, and badges and emblems, and it's time to talk about the raffle. Obviously, if you haven't figured it out, we announced it last week. We're going to give away the gold DX sign. A few months ago, we gave away one of the red ones, and I think Big Job got it. This month, we're going to give away one of the gold ones. This thing is almost like a mirror. You can see the Roadrunner jacket up there in the mirror. It's that bright. Like there's the jacket. That's the Roadrunner jacket that's over here on the wall above the computer. So it is crazy reflective, but it's a nice piece. It does have a little bit of wear on the R and the O and some scratching up here, but obviously still very clear as to what it is. So, but we got to figure out some other stuff to go with it too. So I thought with one thing we haven't done. Yep, Big Job got the other one. Now he needs his sister. And he wants to see the jacket. Hold on just a second. We've shown it before. We'll grab it here in a little bit. But I've been thinking about what to throw in with it. One thing I know we haven't done in a while is throw a T-shirt in the raffle. So we'll throw a T-shirt in the raffle this month. And then, like I said, we'll figure out something else too to go in there with it. But who's in this week so far? As always, every week I go through who I got in just in case somebody, thought they paid and didn't, so we can get it straightened out for the end of the raffle. So where we are at as of right now, who is in this week? Big Job is in. Dennis Chapman, Cindy Craze, Rich Young, and Lee Carr. That's who I've got as of right now, currently in the big Buick oil can. like we talked about, it's $1 a chance. Some of you just round up your auction purchases. Some of you just send money just to make sure. If you send money, whether it's check, money order, cash, PayPal, friends and family, or Western Union, whatever you use, just make sure you let me know how much is for the raffle, how much is for auctions, things like that, or if you want a t-shirt, to make sure we get the correct amount of entries for you into the big Buick oil can. So like I said, we've got a few in there to start with, just down there in the corner. We'll get a bunch more in there by the end of the month. And also, because it's, December 31st is New Year's Eve. So I don't know, like we talked about last week, we may do this at the beginning of January, like on the 7th, unless we decide to do an abbreviated episode for New Year's Eve. But I'm sure a lot of people are going to have things going on. So we'll probably look at January 7th as far as giving away the super cool DX sign. It is an original. It would have been a pump plate that would have mounted to the front of a gas pump. So it's original. It's cool. You just got to be careful that you don't look at it in direct sunlight. And got my packet here for Pioneer Village. Everybody that's done stuff for Pioneer Village, all in this packet, so we can keep track of that. So when we get up there, here, hopefully in the near future, hopefully within the next few weeks. Third place can be a cat. There's plenty of them. We'll just pick one here. I still got one right here on the desk, and she won't move. Hey, Chunky Butt. Chunky Butt. And he says keep him. Let's see. But speaking of the raffle, let's grab the other can. You know what that means? Time for a bonus raffle. Let's dig in here and grab something. I don't even know what the heck's in here anymore. Stuff's been in here so long, I don't know what it is. But we got something here we're going to give away. These bonus raffles do not affect you in the main raffle. You can only win one a night. They will not ship separately. They will ship with your next package if you win one. Martin's here. All right, I think I got one. What do we got here? Dennis Chapman. Dennis Chapman on whatever this is. It's kind of a small one. I don't know what it is. But I bet you guys want to find out. Ads. All right, we'll get through the ads and then we'll see what Dennis got. All right, let me know when we're back, guys. Kenny's back. Okay. Here we go. We're unwrapping whatever. I don't even know what to put. Oh, it's a rocket badge. Oldsmobile rocket badge. Off of like a cutlass. Flying on over Dennis's way. Appreciate it, Pete. All right, wrap back up, ready for Dennis. And as always, like I said, these do not affect your chances for the main drawing. Then it goes right back into the can for the drawing at the end of the month. All right, that being said, that catches us up on the raffle. We know who's in. Be sure to make sure your name is in the big Buick oil can before the end of the month for the raffle on the DX sign. So we can get that sent out to somebody after the first of the year. But you're going to want to be in there. We'll do some more bonus drawings throughout the month. We'll have a lot of fun with it. We'll figure out what else. Whoa! Drop the big Buick oil can. Nobody fell out of it, though. No names fell out of the big Buick oil can. So we're good to go. And you're definitely going to want to be in for the shot at this one this month. And I guess that brings us up to auction time. Who's ready for auction time? Not, we're good. Daniel's here. So anyhow, auction time. Like I said, we've got a ton of cool stuff here. I got to burn through some of this because I got to get it out of my office one way or the other. So a couple of things we do still have a few bigger things in the pile tonight, obviously, because I've got a ton of it left. So we will have, there still will be some reserve things. What I'm going to do on some of this stuff, I know some of you guys just said, just figure the shipping into the overall price and just do it that way. But then we have the issue of some guys who want to come pick up, or either they're going to be coming through or they're not too far away where they said, just get it piled up and I'll pick it up one of these days. So the shipping, I'm going to have to identify it separately versus just rolling it into the price. We've done it both ways, and some of you guys said just roll it all together, give us one price. But the guys that want to pick up, then it's just, we're just going to have to say it's going to be shipping is this much, and that's just the only fair way to do it, because you can, if you pick it up, it's free. If I've got to ship it, it's going to be that on. And there's only a couple things in here tonight that are going to be that way, but because of that, that's really the only fair way to do it. It'll be this much shipping, or you can pick up, and we'll make it work. So, as always, definitely hit refresh, just like Matt said. Hit your refresh button, be ready to go. And what we'll do is I will hold up an item. We'll look at it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about maybe that vehicle a little bit. We'll give you some dimensions on some of this stuff. We'll talk about any damage the piece may have. As we're doing that, if it's something you're interested in, go ahead and throw a bid up there so I know that we've got interest in it and we're ready to go. And as we work our way through, after I get done with the description, we will go 2 minutes. We'll go 2 minutes on my phone right here. I will hit my timer right here. I keep it right here by the corner of the computer. And I will tell you when 1 minute has passed. I will tell you when 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. When you hear 1:30, that means it's probably about over. Everybody has a delay. Some people's delay is 5 seconds. Some people's delay is 20 seconds. That's why I give you that minute 30 warning, so you know it's time to get your max bid in if you are interested in a certain piece. That's right, Alan. Full dollar amounts only. And like I said, the few pieces that have shipping, I will announce separately. Shipping will be included on the smaller pieces in the final bid. And also, if you're a non-U.S. bidder and you want to play, that's perfectly fine. However, you will have to get me paid in U.S. funds, which is typically a bank transfer, which, there's a fee associated with that. And non-U.S. bidders will be responsible for any non-U.S. shipping. Reason being, this kind of feeds itself. If we spend several $100s shipping a couple boxes out of the country, then it doesn't feed itself very well for everybody. There's the 1 minute mark. I'll tell everybody 1 minute has passed, as well as 1:30. At the end of 2 minutes, when this hits 200, the high bid that I can see, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, I will announce as the winner. So that's all I can go by, is what I can see. I know sometimes you guys see things a little bit differently than I do by a second or two. I go by what I can see because that's the only fair way I can do it. So we'll start off with a few smaller pieces. As always, on the first few pieces, we start off with something a little smaller, a little lower dollar, but I will still read all the bids as I see them, even if it's not the high bid, just so you guys know what I'm seeing and can kind of get a feel for your delay. So we'll go ahead and get started tonight. We got a lot of super cool stuff here. And let's get boogieing. We got a little bit of everything: toys, plates, badges, hubcaps, cans, literature, just a whole bunch of super coolness. We'll start off with a smaller can, but it is a metal can. Steve from Canada's on with us on Facebook. That's right, Planet Wisconsin. Be careful if you're posting a number. We've had that happen a few times where somebody's answering a question with a number, and it's like I'm trying to decipher if that's a bid or an answer to a question or something, because I'm watching numbers. I'm watching, and there again, sometimes there's some pretty cool stuff in here tonight, and then when those bids get coming in pretty quick, I'm watching for numbers popping up. That's all I'm watching for. So good point to go ahead and bring that up now, Planet Wisconsin. This first can we're going to look at, like I said, kind of a smaller basic one, but a cool graphic on it. It's an all steel can. It's a brake fluid can for Unilube with a globe on it. Yep, Tractor Mike went home, so it's just me tonight. All you got's me. You don't have the entertainment from Tractor Mike. This is a steel brake fluid can. I don't know how early it is. There's no barcode on it. West Memphis, Arkansas, Unilube products. Bright red, white, and blue colors. No barcode. Probably 60s era, I'm guessing. Original cap. I definitely have a lot going on. There's no doubt about it. Original cap, still threads on there. Heavy-duty hydraulic brake fluid in the steel can. Let me see. This is about 5.5 all the way to the top on the Unilube can. So nobody's started us off on this yet. We may have to throw some more stuff in with it. It is kind of a smaller basic can. Planet Wisconsin is going to kick us off at 5. So let's go ahead and roll with it. 12-ounce can. Cool globe. Tweedledee at 8. Austin at 10. Matt at 11. And we're rolling. We are on the timer. We're boogieing along. I'm going to keep rounding stuff up as we keep an eye out for things. Kat, you are really not in a convenient place. Austin at 12. And we're taking away, coming up on the 1 minute mark. I've got Austin at 12 on the Unilube can with the globe on it. And there's the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. One thirty is gone. Austin at 12. Matt at 13. As we're getting ready to wind this one up, I've got Matt at 13 with a few seconds left. And that does it. Matt at 13. All right. Next piece. Good start. Everybody getting used to things. How about a little grease cap? This is a little bit rougher grease cap. We've got some better ones coming a little later tonight, but we're starting off with some more basic stuff. It does look pretty good, but it's got a whammy in it on this Dodge Brothers grease cap. Got a dent across here. The letters and the graphics around the outside edge all still pretty clear on this one. This was a threaded grease cap like most of these were. It does have some damage on the backside as well. The hex part of it was back here on this particular cap, and a nice big flat area with the DB for the Dodge Brothers on this grease cap. So at least the front part here where you're going to hang it up, where you can see this stuff, looks good. Yeah, probably was a wood wheel, 73 Buick, man. I would guess this would have been on a wood wheel, probably, late 20s, early 30s era. And I'm pretty sure it is a Dodge Brothers grease cap. So across the front of this, Randy at 10. About 3 7/8 across the front of this one. So Randy at 10 starting us off. Let's get this thing going, get it on the timer, and let's see what happens with the Dodge Brothers grease cap. Okay, it's 73 Buick Man says it is Dodge Brothers. That's what I figured. So anyway, Randy at 10. We're live on this one. We're going. What are you doing, cat? Hey, dum-dum. Alex at 18. Randy at 20. And there's the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has passed. And ticking along on this one, Randy at 20. Trying to think, to keep things lined out, keep things moving on my end. I got stuff stacked everywhere. I don't even know where to start. Minute 30 has passed. We're past the minute 30 mark, coming down to the end of this one. Randy at 20. Coming down to the wire, a few seconds left. Randy at 20. And that does it. Randy at 20. Alice came back at 22. That was definitely hung up in there for a while, apparently. How about some literature? We've been doing a few bits and pieces of sales literature, and this is some cool stuff with nice graphics. Where's our Oldsmobile fans? Randy at 23. Must have some stuff hanging up in there because I'm still getting bids on that. Where's our Oldsmobile fans at? We got some super cool Oldsmobile stuff. These are factory sales brochures. These would have been in the dealerships. This one, Oldsmobile for 64. The 1964 Oldsmobiles. Look at the colors and graphics on this thing. Check this one out. Folds open almost a whole poster. Lots of cool color on that one. A little bit of everything in it. Nice piece. Along with that, the Oldsmobile station wagons. The Vista Cruiser. Yep, that's true. A lot of hand drawing. So, and one more. Pick the rocket to your pocket. The 1965 Oldsmobile, the Rocket Action Car. Whoa, come back here. Check this one out. So all three, one-shot deal. You get all three Oldsmobile brochures for one bid shipped to you. All three going as one group. Yep, the Dynamic. So, who's going to kick us off on the Oldsmobile brochures? Planet, Wisconsin at 10. All three of them going together. Kenny at 12. We are on the timer. I did just hit it, so we are going. All three one-shot deals, super cool graphics. John at 15. 73 Buick Man at 13. I already had John at 15. 16 from 73 Buick Man. Sniper ready. Yep, that could be. It could be sniper items. As we come up on the 1 minute mark. And there it is. 1 minute has passed. 73 Buick Man at 16. Glenn at 17. Glad Glenn's on with us tonight. And 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Got Glenn at 17 as we're coming out of the wire on this one, getting close to the end. Kenny at 21, and that does it. Kenny got that in at about 159. That was close. John was in there. Kenny at 21 is who I had at the 200 mark. Yep, that's right, Dirty. There's the snipers. Yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly what happened. Okay, what's next? Oh, let's get a license plate snuck in here. This one's a little bit rough, but it's solid. It's not rusted away, but it's early. On this 1935 Kansas plate, this is mid-range condition-wise, but it still looks good, still presents well. Been up a little bit, but overall you can still see the colors. It still looks good. So this is, grab the tape measure because this is not a standard size plate. 14.5 by about 4 3/8. Austin at 10. We have some whiskey dents. That's a good way to put it. The backside has light surface rust, but there, once again, it's not all rotted out. Martin at 15, but a great looking man cave plate. So let's get this thing rolling. Let's get it on the timer. Martin at 15 on the 1935 Kansas plate. Alex at 42. Oh, it's okay, Cat. And 1 minute has passed. 1 minute is gone. Alex may just throw the knockout punch out there and run everybody off. We'll see. We'll find out in a little under 1 minute. I got Alex at 42. And there's a minute 30. 1 minute, 30 seconds has gone. 30 seconds left. And I think Alex may have just scared everybody off. Well, we'll find out. We've got a few seconds left. We got ads coming. Hopefully we get this done before ads come. I can't stop it. Kenny at 45. We got to stop. All right. Okay, is everything back? Alex has a bad delay. Yep, ads mess up everything, but unfortunately they started inserting them and there's nothing we can do about it. What we're going to do, we were at about 15 seconds to go when that came in. Kenny's $45 bid came in. And so we've got 15 seconds left to go. So I'm going to tell everybody right now, we got 15 seconds once I hit the timer. And then and we've got Kenny at 45 on this plate. So we got 15 seconds left on this one. I'm going to hit it now, and then we're ready to go. So if anybody wants to jump in, Kenny at 45 is who I've got. Keep an eye out there if anybody else is going to jump in. So we're just about done. That's about all the time we had left on this one. Yep, and that does it. So Kenny at 45. Okay. What's next? A couple of other little pieces here. We've been doing some of this stuff. I got a couple boxes of this weird old stuff. You guys seem to have liked it, so I keep mixing a few bits and pieces of it in. This one, another one of these old tractor toolboxes. This one from Emerson. It just says Emerson on it, whatever that means. But it was a little tool tray. Would have been on a tractor, possibly an implement. I don't know. I don't remember an Emerson tractor. It is obviously all metal. See the seam on the end, seams on both ends. It is 11 by about 3 3/4. It's not rusted out. It does have some surface rust in it. It is banged up a little bit. I mean, it's probably 100 years old. So considering its age and what it what it went through in its life, probably not looking to be in too bad a shape. Had bolt holes in the bottom and bolt holes in the backside, so it could be mounted that way or flat down on something. On the little Emerson tool tray, parts tray, toolbox, whatever you want to call them, off of some super early tractor or implement type thing. Snack tray, it would work good for a snack tray. Alex, is that 48 is probably your old bit, I bet, Alex. Emerson was big in the tractor world, okay? So I'm assuming that 48 was your old bit, Alex, and it's not on this one. The drink holder, as Alan says, that would work also. Works very nicely. Although I don't tip it and dump it. So we've obviously got some feed issues here because I think that was an old Alex bit at 48 and nothing's popping up yet. So let's give it a few seconds here and see what we got going on. Okay, bit 1912, 1914, so very early stuff. Allen at 10, Weston at 5. So we've got some stuff in there, so let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. Allen at 10, Weston at 12. Bolt bin, yeah, it would definitely work good for that. Obviously, we know now it's probably well over 100 years old. That's what I figured, Kenny. That's what I was thinking that Alex's bid was. But you can see where the Emerson is stamped in there. So I've got Weston at 12, unless Alex tells us that 48 was for this, but I don't think it was. Dennis at 20. Dennis at 20 on the Emerson toolbox, tool tray, whatever it is. Cup holder, snack tray. And we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. And I've got Dennis at 20. And coming up on the minute 30 mark. There's a minute 30. I've got Dennis at 20. That's true, Kenny. Dennis at 20. This one's coming out of the wire. We got a few seconds left. What's going to happen? Any snipers out there? Dennis at 20. Weston at 26. And that will do it. Weston at 26. Okay. And we'll kind of go with another primitive piece right after that. This is definitely different. Fortunately, it had a tag on it when I bought it. I got this in a box of stuff at an auction. And it's super unique. We've done a few pieces like this. This is a very, very, probably well over 100-year-old wrench. Now, the only marking on it is right here. It's got an E stamped into it or cast into it for whatever it may be. Obviously, 4 different sizes on that end, as well as one on a square one on this end. Now, we've got the E there. Fortunately, this had a tag on it from who knows when. That this is actually, the E stands for Eberhard. Eberhard Manufacturing, and it is a buggy wrench, is what it's marked. Now, I mean, I could buy that. Obviously, it's got the E on it. It is super old. It is super early. And it is not something we would see at Harbor Freight today by any means. So I believe that to be correct. This would be a buggy wrench from, probably turn of the century. E for Eberhard. Alan kicking us off at 10. overall length is about 8 1/4 on the overall length of the whole wrench. Allen at 10, let's just get this thing on the timer on the Eberhart buggy wrench. So obviously, well, it got to be well over 100 years old. Yep, that's right. All square-headed hardware. Yeah, the buggy wrench industry ain't like it used to be. That's true. Allen at 10 on the buggy wrench. Matt at 11 as we come up on the 1 minute mark. Matt at 11, and there's 1 minute. 1 minute left to go. And there's a minute 30. Minute 30 has gone. Matt at 11. Coming down to the wire, a few seconds left. Matt at 11. Allen at 12. And that does it. Allen at 12. All right. What's next? Let's do another can. These are cute. We've done 1 or 2 of these. I had a few of them. Nice size can, cool graphics on this FINA upper cylinder lubricant can. This is new. I will drain it before I ship it. It is a metal can. We see the steel seam over here. Has the directions on the back. No barcode. American Petrofina Inc., Dallas, Texas. Tweedledee at 5. So top is still intact. I will drain it from the bottom so the top still stays intact. And cute little, this size on this thing is a cute little can. About 3 1/8 tall, so just over 3 inches tall. Billy Bowman's here. And about 2.5 in diameter. So Tweedledee at 5. Let's get this thing rolling on the timer on the little FINA upper cylinder lubricant can. Got to do some more digging. I got so much stuff in here to start digging through that. This says, add the content of this container to every 10 gallons of gasoline. Self-mixing. So I guess you just poured it right in with your gas. Denny's with us on Facebook. And 1 minute has now passed. 1 minute is gone. We only got a $5 bid. Mike 6, Austin 7. Tweedledee at 10. Dennis at 11 at the minute 30 mark. 1 minute 30 seconds has passed. Austin at 12. Tweedledee at 15. Oh, thanks, Planet Wisconsin. Appreciate that. A few seconds left. Tweedledee at 15. Pete at 21. And that does it. Pete nailed that one with about 159. Pete at 21. All right. I got stuff everywhere. I got to figure all this out. Too much stuff scattered around here. What's up next? How about another grease cap? I'm going to say this one's teens. It's a small one. From the Overland Company. Hudson badge. This is Overland script stamped in it. We can look on the back. We can actually see where it is stamped in the cap. Hex head around the outside perimeter as it is threaded as usual. So it threads, so it can thread on the hub. Tweedledee at 25. It is 2.5 across the back at the larger part. Unless that was an old bid, Tweedledee, let me know if that was an old bid. And about 2 across the hex. So as of right now, I think Tweedledee's at 25, as long as that wasn't an old bid. Nope, it's good. Okay. Tweedledee at 25. Let's get this thing rolling on the timer on the Overland grease cap. Yep, the cars were neat back then. That's true. Tweedledee at 25. One minute has passed. 1 minute's gone. We're on the backside of this. Tweedledee at 25. More hearts. Love the hearts and fireworks. That's always great, guys. And there's the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Coming down on this, Tweedledee at 25. Just about ready to wrap this up. Tweedledee at 25. Coming down to the end. A few seconds left. Well, that was simple enough. That was easy for Tweedledee. 25 to Tweedledee. Randy came back at 30, just a little bit too late. Danny came in at 26 on Facebook, a little bit too late. So make sure you get your bids in early, guys. There's every one of these. We've had stuff popping up late. So Make sure we get them in there early to make sure it's going to have time to process and get through the system. Up next, let's do another license plate. This thing is beautiful. It is used. There you can tell where it was screwed on, but man, it thing is amazing. Considering this plate is 60 years old and still has this kind of color, wow, that's all I can say. On this 1963 three-digit number 268 Kansas plate. Look at this thing. Kind of an off-white with forest green letters. Just a stunning plate. You can see it has had screws in it. It's got a couple chips around the screw hole, so it was used, but had to have been a car that sat inside pretty much the whole year. And then this thing obviously went right back into storage as soon as it came off. Backside of it looks great as well. The Kansas is stamped into the plate. As you can see here, it's not cut out. Only a few years were actually cut out. This is a standard size plate, roughly 12 by 6 on this beautiful 1963 Kansas license plate, 2-digit 268. RP was the county. Kansas had 2 letters over here to designate a county, so I don't remember which one this one was, but that's what that stood for. I got Austin at 10 on this beautiful plate. So Austin started us off at 10. We are live. We are on the timer on the 1963 Kansas plate. Republic, I bet you're right, Nick. Steve at 12 on Facebook. Really proud. Yep, that's it. Austin at 15. Yep, they were real paint too. Austin at 15 as we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. And there it is, 1 minute. 1 minute has passed. Austin at 15 as we hit the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds is gone. 30 seconds left to go. Tweedledee at 25. And we're coming down to the wire with a few seconds left. I've got Tweedledee at 25. And that does it. Tweedledee at 25 once again. All right, who wants to do something, a bigger piece with shipping or local pickup? This one will be $30 shipping on it because it's big. $30 shipping on top of the final bid. We've done a few of these in the past. I found another one, and they're really cool. You guys love them. I've seen you guys make shelves out of them. You sent me pictures, or you just hang this thing on the wall. But what we've got next is another Model T running board with the Ford stamp right in the middle of it. These are old school, original, 100-year-old board. It has the diamond stamps in it with the Ford script right in the middle of it. Let me give you a dimension on this thing. This particular one is 45 inches long, 45 top to bottom, and 8 inches wide. I think this was 8 inches wide. It's right at 8, just a hair over 8 inches wide. Austin at 25. Like I said, there will be $30 shipping on this because of the size and the weight. So, okay, we've got ads coming. It says I can skip these. Let me get these skipped. Okay. Yeah, we've sold 1 or 2 of these over the last few years. I came up with another one, and some guys have made shelves out of them for their cans, for their toy cars. So, yeah, they are cool. And then, of course, with the Ford logo stamped right in it, you can hang it on the wall. I mean, it's all, it's decor. So, that's what it'll be. It'll be $30 shipping on top of the final bid. Austin at 25, John at 35. So let's get this thing rolling on the timer. On the Model T running boards, I've got John at 35. This is a single. So I don't know if Charles got one or not. Bill Disc got one, okay? Yeah, we've got some toys tonight, too. Yep, I do need to get some toys worked in here shortly. John at 35. Plus the $30 shipping, so. This would be teens, I believe, possibly into the 20s. I don't know what years, if there were differences in them or what, but it is an original and it's got to be right around 100 years old, so, or maybe a little more. 1 minute has passed. 1 minute left to go. John at 35. X-Ray Dean at 36. And there's a minute 30. 30 seconds left to go. Dean at 36. Coming down to the wire with a few seconds left to go. Dean at 36. John at 38. And that will do it. John at 38. And Sam came in at 40 over here just right after that. Dean came in at 40 right after that. So there were more people ready to take shots. They just didn't come through in time. Or they were actually out there shooting. They just didn't come through in time. Yeah, that's the problem. We get into this bigger stuff. It just isn't cheap to ship it. There's just no way around it. So, all right. What else do we want to do? How about let's see. How about another can? This is a composite can. So it's a cardboard can. Does not have a barcode on it, so it's probably 70s. On this John Deere Torque Guard Supreme engine oil with the Deere on it. Randy said his bids are about 30 seconds behind. So yeah, terrible delays tonight. In fact, we'll try a couple more things. If it continues to be this bad, we may just shuffle some of this stuff till next week. If it's getting to where you guys just can't even get bids in. So let's try a couple more things and then we'll kind of reevaluate where things are at. We'll go ahead and sell this John Deere quart and see what happens on this. This is a regular standard size quart. It was 1020 motor oil. It is new, so I will have to drain it before I ship it. On this gold and black John Deere quart. Austin at 10. Let's get this thing rolling. I've got Austin at 10 on the John Deere quart. Okay, Dirty said his delay was bad, but he closed out and came back on. It seems to be working now. Dennis at 15. Austin at 17. Dropped the bomb early. That's right, Randy. Dennis at 22, and there's the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left to go. Dennis at 22. Just about ready to wrap this one up. A few seconds left to go. Dennis at 22. And that does it. All right, let's get a toy out. Nope, you were good, John. Let's go to a really early toy. Cast iron. I think this has had some paint work done, at least on part of it. I don't know how old this is. These old cast irons, are definitely earlier. It has a name on it, but I can't really see. But let's check this thing out, see what you guys think of this little cast iron dump truck. Boop. Boop. Literally flips all the way down. You can see the cab is pretty bright. The bed obviously has some age to the paint, the finish on it. When we look underneath it, same thing. So I think this red has been repainted. You can see the name cast up into here. I can't really make out what it is. It does still have all 4 wheels on it. It is still a cute little toy. I keep a hold of it. That bed just wants to dump. It is about 6 inches from the back of the bed to the tip of the bumper. Alan kicking us off at 20. So like I said, I don't know a lot about these cast iron toys. I know this is a cool little truck. I know it's got all the wheels on it, and I know it looks good. Randy at 25. So, good-looking truck. Like I said, let me see if I can make out the name on it. Mentor, Ohio, something Ohio. I can't quite see it up underneath there, but Randy at 25 on the cast iron toy dump truck. Coming up on the 1 minute mark, I've got Randy at 25. One minute has passed. Randy at 25 on the backside of this thing. Whoops, there it went. There is something on the door, but I can't make out what it is. It's just got a nub on this side. It had something over here, but I can't tell what it was. And there's the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Randy at 25. Getting ready to wrap this one up. Randy at 25 on the little cast iron dump truck. Alan at 27. Weston at 27. Dirty at 30. Kenny at 31. And that does it. Kenny at 31. Holy cow, there was a ton of bids in there, but Kenny at 31 is who we had at the 200 mark. Wow, there was, 6 more bids hung up in there? So Kenny at 31 is who I had at the 2 minute mark. Yep, snipers got wild, that's for sure. So I don't know how long those bids were in there. If you guys just put all those bids in there within those last few seconds, or if we're hung up. But let me know if we've got some serious delays like that. Let me know. Auburn badge. Let's get to a regular cap we've done. This one's banged up a little bit, but it's a pretty cool one for our Ford fans. 40s era, I think. It is dented at the bottom, but it's got a really great logo on it. Kind of reminds me of the old sign. 40s era stainless cap, has the Ford logo with the little bat wings kind of on it. Tony's was last second. So these were okay. So hopefully it's working. Hopefully those were just all last second ones. That is just what happened. It is banged up a little bit here at the bottom. I love the script on this. The logo with a little bat wing kind of reminds me of the old Ford neon signs. It obviously would need polished. You may or may not want to repaint the blue. This did have blue in the Ford script on that. Had a metal ring on the back, but it is a stainless cap. It is 9.5 in diameter on the Ford cap. Like I said, I believe it's 40s era. So let's go ahead and get rolling on this cap. What's everybody think? Who's gonna roll us to get us started off on the Ford cap? Yeah, it's a different one, Kenny. It kind of caught my eye. That's why I grabbed it. Bill Disk at 5. We are on the timer. I did already hit it, so we are going Alan at 10. Randy at 10. Tweedly D at 9. I had Alan at 10 first on what I've got on my screen right now. Kenny at 12. So Randy at 15 now. John at 16. Kenny at 16. Alan at 16. I had John first, but I don't think that's going to last. Dean at 19. And there's the 1 minute mark. Randy at 20 as we hit the 1 minute mark. Kenny at 21. There's the minute 30 mark. Minute 30's gone. Kenny at 21. Let's see what's going to happen. A lot of interest in this one. Randy at 22. Alan at 25. Denny at 25. I had Alan first. Pete at 27, and that does it. Pete snuck that in right at the end at 159. Pete at 27. Kenny came back at 26. Pete at 27 is who I had at the 2-minute mark. That one got kind of interesting. Let's do another kind of oil can. This is an early metal one, just like we did one last week that had been flattened out. It had been cut down and laid flat, which means that they are very easy to hang and display. This is a Quaker State, and it's pretty early. I don't know for sure what year it was, but this was an actual metal Quaker State can that somebody folded out, cut the top and the bottom off, and laid it flat. It does have a little bit of wear right here on the finish. Must have been a sale on ammo somewhere. Yep. So this does say Quaker State Oil Refining Company, Oil City, Pennsylvania down here. Has the details. This is all the information. Yeah, they exactly use them for floor patches, anything like that. But is that current on this, Randy, or was that an old bid that was hung up in there on the 20 for that last 25, Randy? Let me know if that was on the hubcap or on the Quaker State. So this has all the information, all the graphics, just like the can did, because that's what it was. And you can actually, I don't know if you can kind of see where it was. Where you can see where they had flattened it back out. So let's see if that, waiting for Randy to say if that was on this piece or if that was a leftover bit on the hubcap. And then we'll get started here once we know where we're at. So Derek would do that on vice grip. Yep. Got to do what you got to do, especially when you're trying to drive them home like that. So that is for on this can, Randy, 25. So we'll go ahead and get rolling, get this thing on the timer. On the Quaker State can. Randy at 25. Perfect, Randy. Good. Thanks. Appreciate that. I just don't trust this thing tonight the way it's been working. So Matt had to refresh. He got stuck too. Yeah, that does happen. So that you guys might want to hit that refresh too. Maybe that'll help. One minute has passed. Randy at 25. And there's 130. 130 is gone. 30 seconds left to go. Randy at 25. May have scared everybody off. Just about ready to wrap this one up. Randy at 25. And that does it. Just knocked him out right out of the gate. Randy at 25. All right. I'll show you guys something else. This one is going to have a reserve on it, but shipping will be included because it's a small piece. So this is up to you guys whether you see how excited you guys get about this, because it is a duplicate. So I would sell it, but it's super cool and it's not something you see very often. So I'll show it to you. You guys let me know what you think. And Kenny's bidding 25 already. Don't even know what it is. Which I wouldn't buy it anyway, but and it's probably going to look familiar. We're going to give you a Hudson badge real quick to think about it. But this is a duplicate. The Page badge that we just looked at, I have 2 of these. So I will consider selling this one. But like I said, it's got to, they said, these are cool. I love the colors on it. I'll keep it if I had to. I'll give you the dimensions on it. Again, Pete at 50, 3 7/8, tip to tip. And 1 3/4 inches height. Pete at 50, we're getting close. Whoa, if I don't tear it up. This is chipped at the bottom. These are actual chips that you see in here in the white on the enamel on the Page badge. Pete at 50, we're not quite there yet. We'll give it a few more seconds, see what you guys think. If we want to go ahead and sell this one, or whether I'm just going to keep it extra in my collection. So we'll go ahead and kick the timer off. We'll give it a little bit of time here. We'll see what happens. Pete at 50, which is getting us close, but not quite there. Let's see if we get a few more bids. If not, we'll move on to the next piece. Which I need to figure out what the next piece is going to be. Tony at 60. We're getting close. I need to get a little bit more out of it than that. I think so, at least for as cool as it is. Aren't you supposed to be working anyway, Tony? I'm glad you're hanging out this evening. You're supposed to be working. We'll give it a little bit more here, see if we get any more bids. We're getting close, but we're not quite there. We're past the 1 minute mark, so. Looks like that must be it. No other bids coming in. So, all right, we'll go ahead and move on to the next piece. Facebook just told me I'm live on YouTube, or the other computer did. So let's do another grease cap. We've done one of these. This isn't a real common one, but I did find another one at one of these auctions I went to. We sold one of these several months ago. I found another one at one of these auctions I went to. It's a very unique one. It was about a 28, I think, 27, 28 era Chevy, but this is the one with the big wings on it. Remember this? I'm sure you guys remember this. We did one a while back. Jake's here with us. And this does not say Chevy on it, but it has this wheel in the middle with the big wings on it. Randy at 25. It does have the hex head around it. Kenny at 25. It is threaded in the back like these all are. Two 3/8 across the back. And 1 7/8 on the hex on this one. So let's go ahead and get this thing boogieing. Randy at 25, and then I had Kenny at 25 right after that, but I had Randy first. But it probably won't matter. I doubt it's going to stay at 25. We're going to find out. Ads. Okay, stop. Shut down. We're done. We'll hold off here for a few seconds until I get the all clear. Okay, looks like everybody's getting back. Okay, we're good to go. We'll fire it back up. And we're ticking along. We're just at the 30-second mark right now. Randy at 25. Kenny at 27. Randy at 30. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, 1 minute has now passed, 1 minute left to go. Randy at 30 as we hit the minute 30 mark. There's 1:30, 30 seconds left to go. Kenny at 31. Randy at 32. Coming out of the wire, we're about to end. Denny at 32, but I got Randy at 32 first over here. Couple seconds left to go. And that does it. Randy at 32. Denny came back at 33 on Facebook, just a hair too late. All right, let me do some looking here, see what else we got we want to do tonight. All right, getting a few things rounded up here so we can finish out tonight's auction. All right, a couple more things. We'll do 3 more things yet tonight, guys. I got 3 things laying here. Let's go ahead and knock these 3 things out, and then we'll get moving on into the magazine, which we're going to do something a little bit different on the magazine tonight as well. So we'll knock out 3 more pieces yet tonight, and then we'll get moving on. Starting off with another one of these super cool old wrenches. And this one's really early. I think this is International. If I can make out the script on it, I think it was an IH wrench. Once again, everything is square. Very unique. Very specialized, obviously. And I'm pretty sure this is an IH logo. You guys probably won't be able to make it out there. It needs cleaned a little bit, but I'm pretty sure this is an IH wrench. It is about 7 1/4 long. Obviously a weird snaky shape. Not really sure what the purpose of this was, but obviously it had some purpose to get into something weird on this old IH wrench. Had to be, it's got to be 100 years old. Something specialized for some sort of, I'm sure it was an old International tractor. But the story some of this stuff could tell, it had a like 11609 part number on here. Dean at 25. Something like that with the IH logo. So obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 1. That's what it was. So let's get this thing rolling. Dean at 25. Randy at 30. One minute has passed. Terry's got one like it he dug up in his yard. Yeah, that happened to some of these old wrenches. So that's right. The only wrench you'll need. This will do anything. Randy at 30. And there's a minute 30 seconds left to go. That's right. There's always more. Dirty. Randy at 30. And just about ready to wrap this one up. Randy at 30 on the IH wrench. And that does it. Randy at 30. All right, let's catch another can. This is a great looking can, great colors, ribbed can, steel can, cool company logo on the Skelly Tagoline HD. This is a new quart. It does have oil in it. I will need to drain it. I will drain it from the bottom. That's right, Randy, you're on a roll. Top is still nice and clean and original. I said I'll put 2 small holes in the bottom to drain it. This is a ribbed can. Skelly Fortified Tagoline Heavy Duty. Money back guarantee, your tag of protection. Tweedledee at 25, Austin at 15. But it is a good looking can. Nice colors. Skelly logo on both sides. Let's get this thing rolling. Tweedledee at 25. Austin at 27. '73 Buick man's got to jump off. Glad you were here. Yep, does look like a soup can. Austin at 27. One minute. There's the 1 minute mark. 1 minute left to go. And there's the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left. Austin at 27. Just about ready to wrap this one up. Austin at 27. And that will do it. Austin McCoy at 27. All right. I think that's your first win, isn't it, Austin? I don't remember seeing you win anything before. So, yep, perfect. If you got any questions, just give me a call tomorrow. If you're not sure about what to do, my number is in the description part of the video. The payment information is in there. Or if you got any questions, just call me. We'll figure it out. Not a big deal. So, congratulations to Austin on his first win, and that's a great can to start out with. So, let's do one more, and then we're going to move on to the magazine. Let's do a set of plates. 1960. So these plates are 63 years old. They're a little bit of surface rust around the edges, but what's cool about them is they are Kansas truck plates. 1960 Kansas truck. T891. Some surface rust around the outside edges. Perfect, Austin. That'll work. Back still look pretty good. Just the edges have some surface rust and a little bit of chipping here in the middle, but not bad. Not too bad considering they're 63 years old. What's cool about this T891 plate is in the same box with the 891, I got the 892. So these still, after 63 years, still together, still in order, still have pretty decent colors. White with blue letters and numbers. On this 1960 consecutive numbers Kansas truck plates. You're going to get them both. I kind of want to keep them together. They've been together for 60 plus years. We just will keep them together now and add them to your collection. Weston starting us off at 12. These are standard size plates, basically roughly 12 by 6, the normal license plate we would expect. Austin at 23, but kind of cool to have the pair here still together. We're on the timer. We're rolling. You're getting both for one money. Tweedledee at 25. Austin at 27. So, good looking plates. Last piece for tonight before we move on to the magazine. And we'll see what happens. Austin at 27. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. Perfect, Randy. I'll keep an eye out for that too. Make sure it gets sent to the right places. 1 minute is gone. 1 minute left to go. You're getting the pair, one money. Austin at 27. That's right, Kenny. It is complete crickets right now. And my hand is cramping. On top of that. Austin at 27. There's the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left to go. Austin, the high bidder, at 27 on the pair. Tweedledee at 30. Matt, 31. Austin at 33. Few seconds left. Not much time left on this one. There's a few seconds. Austin at 33. Matt at 34. Tweedledee at 35. Austin at 35. Austin at 36, and that did it. Holy cow. Austin got that in there just barely at 36. It was like switching to 2-0-0 when that came through. I mean, that was it. Another half second was too late. But Austin managed to get that 36 back in there. So All right, congratulations to all of our winners. Had a lot of fun tonight, even though it was a little bit of a challenge there with this thing hanging up on us, but we got through it. Still got tons of stuff piled up in here for upcoming weeks. So lots more cool stuff coming in the very near future on the Sunday night auctions. And as always, like I said, if any of you guys have any questions about it, just give me a shout tomorrow. We'll work it. We'll get it figured out. No big deal. So. All right, let's move on. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight with the magazine. It's actually a hobbyist magazine that we're going to look at where the hobby was at this point in time, kind of. Hey, Kat, can I have the magazine? Hey, you. Can I have the magazine that you're sitting on? All right. Now, a lot of us have subscribed to Old Cars Weekly. Obviously, I do some work with Old Cars Weekly. Angelo, the editor, great guy. I can't say enough good things about the magazine with the direction they're going, the diversity they share, the diversity in cars that they run. I think they're doing a heck of a job. You know, some of us are subscribers. If not, I strongly encourage you to subscribe because it is one magazine that you literally do not have to try to guess what color the 69 Camaro will be in the next issue. Because once in a while, I've seen a few first-gen Camaros in here, but not very often. And they cover everything from early stuff up to 70s and 80s cars. They actually have, like I said, one of the most diverse publications out there. That's right, Pete, and you get it twice a month. Kevin's got to jump off. Glad you were here. So we're all used to this by now. This is the new issue of Old Cars. We're used to getting this. You know, a lot of us have seen this. This is what we're used to now. Lots of color, great articles, tons of diversity. They do a great job. However, this is not the way Old Cars was always done. This started back in the 70s. We're going to jump back 30 years to the early 90s and look at an issue of Old Cars back when it was literally on newsprint. So we're going to check out a few different things in here. And this is, like I said, this is a snapshot of the hobby 30 years ago. Some of these magazines we do have, you know, we're looking at road tests on cars when they were new, things like that. This is a snapshot of the hobby from 30 years ago. Where was it things were at, what was going on. So let's check out a few things in here, going back to the old newsprint days of Old Cars Weekly. Now, this magazine actually, yeah, Mike's familiar with them. I remember them. I found a couple of these in the New Yard. There's a shop that came with the New Yard. I found some of these in there in the building. And it's kind of funny just looking at the address. And this is how much things have changed in the last 30 years. This issue was August 25th of 1994 with a cover price of $1.95. Now, this was a subscription. The gentleman that had that facility was subscribed, and the address was Hannigan's Antique Autos, and it literally says 2.5 miles north on 281 highway. That was the address, and it says it right on here. 2.5 miles north on 281 highway. That was the street address. Obviously, crazy today with the 911 and everything having to have an address. This was literally 2.5 miles north on the highway. That was the address. And then, of course, had their P.O. box on it as well. But that was the address. So let's check out Old Cars. On the cover, 1940 Cadillac 60 Special. John remembers his dad having a subscription. Yeah. Perfect, Austin. Thanks. But there again, when we read these magazines today, this is what we were reading back then. These were hobbyist stories, hobbyists about their cars. The first one, a cross-country trip in a Checker. Yep. A cross-country trip in a Checker. The old Checker cabs, they were around forever, obviously, you know, gone, a piece of history now. but a cross-country trip in a checker. And like I said, this is all hobbyist-based stories, even at this point. And we'll just kind of work our way through this whole thing and check out some ads and things as we're going through it, since this is a little bit different than our typical magazine. Collector auto auctions definitely still happening there. Still happening. Lots of auctions in here. I don't know. I don't really know how they did checkers. I don't know if they were just primarily fleet sales or what they did. Dirty Cities, remembers his friend having a subscription? Yeah. Like I said, I figured this newsprint edition was going to bring back some memories, and it is, which is perfect, because that's half the reason we do this. Sometimes it's not the article. Sometimes it's the magazine itself. I've had that happen to me. I got a viewer box with a copy of Car Exchange in it a few months ago. I opened the viewer box, like, holy cow, I haven't seen a Car Exchange forever, but I remembered them. So that's the stuff that takes you back. Auctions advertised in here. Subscription information. Route 66. There again, hobbyist articles about cruising Route 66. It's kind of funny. The more things change, the more they stay the same on some of this stuff. There again, obviously Route 66. However, this article talked about, and some of the stuff, these other articles talked about how much of Route 66, even 30 years ago, had been completely neglected. Now, obviously, there's a big push. Route 66 has come back. A lot of those buildings are being restored. People are, realize the importance of it. And some of it's been restored. People are going back on it again just for the nostalgia of it. Back then, even the Checker article and this article, this just talked about one small strip of it, 160 miles of it, where they could find some stuff. So, like I said, weird now, because obviously the movie Cars, all that stuff, big deal to help promote and rejuvenate and give people a reason to get back out on Route 66. But 30 years ago, not quite so much. There again, that's a hobbyist perspective that we can go back and look at today from what was going on back then. Some auction results. Old Cars Auction Express. I'll read you a few of these as well. Whoa, come back here. We're not cooperating. One thing about newsprint, it doesn't cooperate. These were actual auction results from mid-1994. So we'll go over a few of these real quick. Yep, that's right, Pete. All the people that come from other countries to cruise Route 66. Yep. Just talking with our buddy Michael Jones down in Sapulpa. Yeah, that's what he's there for. He's part of that. But what was selling at auction? Meadowbrook Invitational, Troy, Michigan, August 5th and 6th, 1994. So, let's check a few of these out. 55 Cadillac convertible, $18,000. 57 Cadillac convertible, $21,500. 59 Cadillac limo, $26,000. 55 Bel Air two-door hardtop, $18,500. 57 Bel Air two-door hardtop, $7,000. 57 Bel Air convertible, $32,000. Ads. Okay, ads. We'll hold up here. Thanks, Randall. Appreciate it. All right, looks like we're coming back. 69 Camaro SSRS convertible, $11,800. So obviously, a lot of those cars definitely have appreciated over the last 30 years. But some of these, on the other hand, I don't really think have kept up with inflation. Let's see. 31 Chrysler Imperial Roadster, $130,000. I don't know what that car's worth today, but some of those cars aren't worth a lot more today than they were back then. Obviously most of this stuff has definitely gone up, but you wonder where the market's going to go on whether some of these cars will hold these values and continue to. So when you put it into perspective of what the dollar was worth then, these were, I'm sure, pretty good prices for the time. But some of these cars, it's kind of crazy that when you read them, 69 442 two-door hardtop 4-speed, $4,600. 26 Packard, $69,000. So lots of different stuff. Very diverse auctions that they had listed here for this particular one. Depends on what it was, David. Depends on if it could, if it was stuff that could be bought. I mean, I would try to work out something with you that would be fair with you if it was something I can make something work with. So, 90 Dynasty in Wyoming, if anybody needs one of those. I have heard that too, that the Checker did use some diesels. So, but lots of, there again, some of the stuff, the more it changes, the more it stays the same. When you see some of these auction results of what was popular, what was bringing good money, as well as all the ads and everything in this issue 30 years ago. Iola, we talked about Iola a few months ago. There were, obviously there's always the $75,000 LeBaron. Yeah. Yeah, it was nowhere even near that. I don't even know where he came up with that number at, but actually driving a DeSoto to Iola. We talked about Iola, the big car show and swap meet in Iola, Wisconsin a few months ago. Still going on today. This article here I thought was very interesting, and more for a personal reason. And we've never had him in person on, but he has jumped on with us from time to time and comment and hung out with us a little bit. He's actually the guy that actually got my connection into Old Cars Weekly was through him. I had no idea he was writing 30 years ago, though. My good friend Phil Skinner, the Edsel guru, or my Edsel buddy. If you got a question, Edsel, Phil is the man. Phil knows this stuff cold. But this Edsel article, 1994, road tripping in an Edsel, written by my good friend Phil Skinner. So I had to text him when I saw it. I was like, I didn't know you've been writing this long, but sure enough, there it was from 1994, road tripping in his Edsel. He said he remembered the trip too. So, in his 59 Corsair convertible. Something else. I don't have much Corvette stuff, David. A little bit here and there, but not a lot. Just depends on what you're looking for and things like that. And I've got a few bits and pieces laying around. I know some guys that have some pretty good stuff stashed. Just depends on what you're looking for and things like that. So, collector and exotic car financing. It seems like, of course, you go to Mecum now, they'll finance you on the spot and hand you a bidder's number and let you go spend it. But nope, still no 60 soft stuff, Planet Wisconsin. But collector car financing back in the early 90s already. Yep, no problem, David. The Auburn auction. Obviously, we talk about the Auburn auction from Labor Day weekend in Auburn, Indiana. Always a huge, huge deal. Offering nearly 200 cars at no reserve at the 24th annual 1994 Auburn auction. And in 1994, this was what was really cool, featuring 13 Duesenbergs. So there again, they still have the Auburn auction. Worldwide does it now. In fact, Phil's involved with the memorabilia side of that. So, but something that I thought was definitely interesting and definitely different in this particular issue of Old Cars Weekly, there was a supplement in it, a performance supplement. Yes, they had a muscle car section as a completely separate supplement to this issue of Old Cars Weekly. It is a whole separate deal stapled right in there. So I'm going to leave it in there, but we're going to check it out. Starting off with an article on the 53 Corvette. The V8 Gremlin. The 56 Mercury M260. The 62 Grand Prix. Great looking cars. So pretty cool to see this whole different segment in here, including the 69 Barracuda and the 66 Ford 7-liter. Like I said, a whole separate segment strictly on performance stuff. So, thought that was really neat. Lots and lots of advertising in here as well. And we've also got a lot of classifieds to check out in this issue. So, now you don't see a lot of those for sale. So Dirty, that's probably kind of cool. Another ad that when I saw it, I was like, boom, instantly took me back. I don't know if they still do these. I haven't seen one of these ads in a long time. And I guarantee you it's going to ring a bell with some of you because they ran these ads all over in tons of car magazines back in the 80s and the 90s for the Pomona Swap Meet, the West Coast largest swap meet, Pomona. And they always had, every year, they had a different one, I think. But they had a handful of select vehicles drawn up in this big cartoonish style for the Pomona Swap Meet. So who remembers this ad with all these cartoonish vehicles in it? Oh, that was one of those when I seen it, I was like, holy cow, I remember that immediately. So that one definitely caught my eye. Tony remembers them. Yep. See, I knew that was going to ring a bell with some of you guys. They had a very extensive event section by state. They still do this, but man, there was a ton of them in this time frame. These are all events by state. They go through all the states and list car events coming up. So there was a lot of that in here. Several pages of it. Another feature that I had kind of forgotten about, and I remembered seeing it, but I kind of just blew it off, didn't really remember, was Kenny's Clunkers in the classified section. Turn your old clunker into quick cash with an inexpensive ad in this section. Help preserve old cars, sell it, don't scrap it. So these were cheap, no picture, very basic ads. I'm sure there was a discounted rate for them for cheaper cars in Kenny's Clunkers. And they also had a fairly extensive classified section. So we're going to check a few of those out as well. Several pages of classifieds. So we're going to spend a few minutes with the classified section as well in tonight's episode because there's so much cool stuff in here. Now, as from what I remember, this used to be pretty common, and I don't know, some magazines probably still do this. Antique cars for sale up to 1948, and then they had different sections, AMC, Nash, Buick, Chevy, things like that by car. But it's kind of interesting the way they had these set up, where a section of just basically antique cars to 1948. Looks like the Nut Farm's getting thirsty. Good idea, Nut Farm. But anyway, let's check a few things out. Like I said, there's so many of them in here. We could spend a whole night going through some of this stuff. But let's pick out a few good ones to check out. Let's start with the early stuff. The antique cars to 1948. And there is some higher dollar stuff in here, but a lot of it is earlier stuff. 36 Auburn Cabriolet ground up restoration, best classic award from GAR 1993, second in class at the ACD at the Auburn Cord-Duesenberg show, $80,000. 37 Cord complete mechanical restoration, new paint and upholstery, price to sell below market at $39,500. 37 Cord sedan, that one did not have a price. So, some pretty neat stuff there. Yeah, it is it's still fairly close to the magazine format. That's a good point, Pete. So, kind of some neat stuff. Let's get into some of the specific type listings and see what kind of interesting things we've got there. Obviously, we'll start with Buick because they go in alphabetical order. We'll see if Buick had anything cool available in here for sale in 1994. 52 Roadmaster two-door hardtop, red, black, all power, nice running original car, needs restoration, $3,500. 53 Special convertible, good paint, brown interior, white top, wire wheels, number 3, $9,500. Running, driving 53 Buick convertible. Perfect, Matt. Appreciate it. Thanks. Here's a different one. 42 Buick Estate Wagon, Woody, 64,000 miles, nice wood, good chrome, needs paint, stored the last 44 years, $24,000. That was a lot of money back then. Cadillacs. What kind of Cadillacs do we have for sale? 59 Eldorado Seville, two-door hardtop, $32,500. A lot of money for a 59 Cadillac. Leo's here. Haven't seen you tonight, Leo. I was wondering where you were hanging out. '53 Cadillac Series 62 convertible, $42,500, restored car. They actually had Camaro sections and Chevelle sections. But just tons of classifieds. You know, back before the internet, this was it. This is how you had to do it. And it was reflected in all these ads. 60 Impala two-door hardtop, power steering, power windows, no motor, $875. That's definitely changed. The Impala world has definitely changed. 62 Impala convertible, 409 4-speed, maroon black, rust-free, 54,000 miles, fabulous car, $22,900. 64 Impala convertible, yellow black top, $59.75. 8-in Ford. I've got one little Ford tractor out there. The dad's got 68. Is that 68 Grand Prix? I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Terry, on that. So, yep, the Impala world has definitely changed compared to the prices that we're seeing here on these particular cars. But we all know that happens. There's no doubt about it. Just some have changed more than others. So, perfect, Leo. I'll be watching for it. Now, here's one that there is a picture, and every time I've looked through this thing today, it immediately catches my eye because it is so weird. 1956 Ford Stretch. One of 14 built, one of 2 known, and it is literally a 56 Ford Stretch limousine the way it looks. They want $12,500 for it, but there is a picture. I'm going to show the picture to you guys and see what you think. Check this thing out. You can see why it always caught my eye every time I flipped through here today as I was getting things ready. I've never seen or heard of anything like that. So I thought that one was definitely different. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Actually, probably an airport car. I bet you guys are right. Now, one market that we haven't seen a lot of change in are the Model A's. Model 8, 1930 Deluxe Coupe, 2,600 miles since restoration, $16,000. That's about what, a good Model A is bringing today, as crazy as that sounds. So some of this stuff isn't really changing all that much. We're seeing some of these 30s Fords soften up some. 37 Ford two-door humpback sedan, Washington blue, 85,000 miles, excellent body, runs good, 10,000. Not too far off of what those cars are bringing today, So it's weird to look back and see some of this stuff has changed dramatically and some of it hasn't really changed at all. So let's see what else we got in here. That's right. 10 grand in 1994 was not cheap. That's for sure. Here's an interesting one. 1970 GTO Judge convertible. Fully documented, fully optioned. Every option available in 1970 on a Ram Air 3. Orbit orange with black interior, $35,000, which was a ton of money in 1994. But they just sold a Ram Air 3 at Mecum, Glendale last year, basically the same car for like $240. So definitely see some changes in that market as well. I wonder what they got, if they got any Mopars in here as we're working our way through, see what kind of changes we've seen in the Mopar market. Or some Mustangs, some of that type of stuff. Let's check out a few more of the classifieds in here and see what else we can find that looks interesting. Don't forget the S's. Yep, we're heading back towards the S's. Trying to find stuff that has prices on it as well so we can relate, because some of this stuff does not have prices on it. Dodge trucks. I'm looking at Dodges right now, or actually, no, I was looking at Mustangs. I was looking at Dodges just a second ago. There was not much in Dodge at all for sale. Some Studebagers. 51 Champion for $3,000. 51 Commander Sedan for $750. Lots of different stuff. It's kind of tough to kind of follow the way they got it set up in here, but definitely some neat stuff in here worth checking out. How about a few Plymouths? 69 Barracuda Formula S. That one didn't have a price on it. '65 GTO 4-speed tri-power, been sitting 10 years, needs a restoration, $4,000. So kind of crazy. Did you buy a hardtop or a T-top WS6? Ads. All right, more ads. Alan's got to bail off. Going to come up pick up some of his stuff tomorrow. See, we get ads cleared, and then we'll get ready to go ahead and wind things up once we get clear on the ads. Everybody clear on the ads and ready to go? All right, looks like we're back. So that'll wrap up some of the classified stuff. The back cover of the 1994 Old Cars Weekly, more cruise auctions. Now, just like we talked about, the Auburn auction was a cruise auction. Back then, cruise was the collector car auction. Barrett Jackson was out there. I think cruise was bigger than Barrett Jackson at that time. Cruise, I believe, sold out, and then it went belly up after it sold out. But two great collector car auctions, Topsfield and Charlotte. Topsfield was Massachusetts. So Mark Falcon said he called me a few weeks ago and said he had a bunch of stuff going on. He was going to try to get back on with us as soon as he could, but he said he was going to be gone for a few weeks. So So there it is. Like I said, a little bit different than what we usually do, a little harder to go through because, like the motor trends and hot rods, we've done enough of them. We kind of flow through. We know what's coming. This completely different, a little more work, a little more chopped up to try to kind of learn the rhythm of it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, doing something a little bit different from the 1994 issue of Old Cars Weekly from August, I believe. Yes, August 25th, 1994, Old Cars Weekly. The old school newsprint Old Cars Weekly. So glad you guys liked it. Like I said, it was a little more choppy tonight trying to get through it, trying to catch some of the high points in it. But glad you guys enjoyed it anyway by doing something a little bit different. I've got some really super cool stuff coming up for the magazine section. I've got one that we're going to do. I don't know if we'll start on it next week. Well over 100 years old. There's some really cool stuff in that one. So I don't know if we'll start on that one next week or if it'll be a few weeks before we get to it. But we'll do some more cool magazine stuff. But that's a pretty neat one. I'm pretty excited about that. But anyway, what else is coming up this week? We got new videos coming up. We got the video chopping down some trees. That's right, Scott. Some of those prices have tripled in 30 years. That's for sure. Dirty just wants to see more toys. Okay. But I got some new inventory. I did a video on the Triumph. Got a video I did on a 65 C10 that actually came in like 6 months ago that I just finally did a video on. Plus more stuff hitting the ground. We'll do something with a little LeBaron. And got to get some more of those videos. I still got a ton of videos in the can. I've got some videos from my buddy Salvage Yard I go to occasionally from when I was there a few months ago that I haven't even posted yet. I've got more Pitt State videos to post. And like I said, we're going to hopefully hopefully within the next few weeks, get up to Pioneer Village and have some more videos from there and help kick off their Adopt a Car program by adopting some Nobody's cars from the Nobodies of Nobody's show. Super appreciate you guys contributing to that. If you haven't seen those videos, be sure to watch some of them and throw some comments out there about cars you like. Because I'm going to try to work off of that to try to come up with a short list that we can talk about and further discuss as far as what you guys want to do. This is your guys' money. I want you guys involved in how we support them and how we do it and what we put our names on. So be sure to check those out. Like I said, there is a full playlist on the Nobody Show channel specifically for Pioneer Village in Minden, Nebraska. Tons of car stuff on there. Let me know what you guys think so I can get up there here in a few weeks and get the Nobody's names on some of them. Dirty wants a 72 tag. I'm sure we got some of those laying around. We'll just have to get worked in. But put another dent in the auction stuff tonight. We still got a ways to go. I still got a big pile here. So we've still got some cool stuff coming up. Glad you love it, Tony. I'm still surprised you guys keep coming back every week and making this what it is. Hit the like button. Appreciate that, Kenny. And we'll keep working on it. So we'll get some more cool videos up this week. We will do Toy Tuesday live once again, 7 o'clock Tuesday evening, and get some of those other videos up this week. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and get ready to wind this one down. It's pretty much about that time. And get ready. Yeah, that's right. We're pushing 200 episodes. Subscribers have gone up. Derek with Vice Grip helped me out tremendously. Almost 18,000 subscribers. That 20,000 number is right around the corner, which for me is just crazy to even comprehend. But there again, it's because of support of all of you guys and all the viewers, the guys that come out and hang out. Yeah, Tractor Mike was kind of like Ed McMahon. That's true, Scott. And I'm going to go out and do some stuff with Tractor Mike. You guys want to see his tractors, so we definitely. I want to get some of that stuff shot here since it's his slow time of the year. I want to get out there and do videos with Tractor Mike on his tractors. More Johnny Carson comments. I super appreciate those guys, but to even think that what I do here is a decent enough quality program that you guys could even think about comparing that to somebody like Johnny Carson is pretty cool. And I do appreciate that. So thanks, Dirty. I appreciate that. Appreciate your comments. But yeah, we're going to do some more with Tractor Mike. There's no doubt about it. The dude's one of my best friends in the world. So we're definitely going to do some fun stuff with some of his tractors, some of his cool stuff. And maybe we'll do a video with this El Camino he just got a couple weeks ago. He got a killer El Camino. I'm super excited for him that he got that bought. And it looks like a great car. So can't wait to go see that either. Anyway, with that, I think we'll go ahead and wind this one down. Episode number 190 in the books. 190. Holy cow. Dirty is already setting his sights for next week. Ready for some sniping action. And so it might get interesting next week. Dirty's already picking people out. He's going to go after the snipe team tonight. So, hey, that's what happens. But the great part about it is you guys are so great with all this, and nobody gets too upset or takes anything too seriously. And that's what's fun about it. And all you guys supporting this and having good attitudes about what we do on here. Even when you do get sniped, it's great. So I appreciate it. February 11th is the 200th episode, Pedal Car Extravaganza. So we're looking at February. Well, but I don't know if we'll do one like on New Year's Eve, so it might be a little after that. Tony did have to pull over a couple times. Okay, well, hopefully you're staying safe out there, Tony. Taking care of those highways for all your citizens up there. That's an important job. So glad to know that you're out there and doing what needs to be done so everybody can get to work in the morning. So I know they're going to appreciate that. But glad you still were able to hang out with us tonight. Had a great time with you guys. So we'll see some of you at 7 o'clock Tuesday night for some Toy Tuesday. We'll get some more cool videos up this week. And then, as always, next Sunday night, 7 o'clock, same bat time, same bat station, Sunday night live chat at 7 o'clock. So hope to see you all then. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for stopping by tonight, spending your Sunday evening with all of us. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, everybody.